Welcome back, True Seeker. I want to talk more about the death of the Blue Bloods actor, which was announced at the moment. UConn shocked Duke. If you don't follow college basketball, the top teams are known as Blue Bloods, and Duke and UConn are at the top of that list. Again, we'll cover things like how he died 8 days after his birthday and how that was the last game of the Elite Eight. We'll also talk about the things that happened on his birthday. He was born March 20th. We know that was a pretty deadly day there in the world of celebrity. He celebrated his birthday on a pretty deadly day. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know the notice, let you know the latest. I mean, today is March 30th, the 89th day of the year. And as I've always said, I've been here educating about it for going on 13 straight years. Your federal government works by the code of ABC 123 every single day. Mainstream media, for everyone who still hasn't figured out, it's nothing but mind control. It's nothing but propaganda. And they lay down their propaganda code by the Kabbalistic system of Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Anyone who doubts that, all you have to do is just pay attention every single day, and you'll prove the point every single day, as I've been doing for going on 13 straight years. But we already knew that this Temple Israel shooting on March 12th was a total load, and we covered it from numerous angles. But today, the FBI confirms it was executed by Hezbollah, which is probably run by U.S. intelligence. And again, Hezbollah, 89 in the most simple cipher on the 89th day of the year, your government confirms this. It's just annoying. And yeah, there are base ciphers and there's more than one cipher, and people will say, well, you're using multiple ciphers. So, I mean, maybe it's too easy to make things line up. Okay. All right. Hezbollah also equals 44 and 37, like Detroit, like where the shooting happened in the suburb of Detroit. Michigan's also 44. Michigan advancing to the final 4-on-4. And yeah, they have a potential narrative to, we ranked Michigan as the third most likely team to make it to the championship because it's on 4-6, also like Michigan, or you can write the date 6-4. Pretty interesting. So yeah, and if you missed all my work on the Temple Israel shooting, we'll go back over it because, again, news is reported ritualistically, and the sports games are rigged ritualistically, and right along the rigged sports games are the ritual sacrifices. Again, the consistency of my work is I've never had to change my message. I've taught the same thing every single day and how all these things are working together every single day for going on 13 years, and it's been business as usual day after day. That's why this work, it's very sad that I now get, it's funny, the first week ever I was on YouTube, I got better viewership than I did now. And we all know that's because of the algorithms and the tinkering that they've done. But really, people like Candace Owens and stuff. I mean, it's amazing that anyone follows these idiots. These are the same ones that were misleading you into voting for political parties. And now supposedly they're opposed to the political party that they got famous on. And now they're giving you just this, just like I saw in the chat. Shout out to Gematria32. Apparently, Candace Owens is teaching you about masonry in 33 and 2026. Wow. There's something groundbreaking. And it's probably going to get 2 gazillion views. All right. So anyway, let's again recap this and then talk about just how perfect and sick this ritual is as the death of the Blue Bloods actor is announced as this epic finish between the Blue Bloods. And you know what? Something I didn't even realize about college basketball. I thought they had an 8-second backcourt violation in college basketball, just like high school and the NBA. They actually have a 10-second backcourt violation. So that means Duke didn't even need to advance the ball yesterday, which means they didn't have to pass the ball to anyone. They just had to hold on to the ball and either let the clock run out or make UConn foul them. So that made this script all the more stupid for the morons that think this stuff's real. But anyway, in case you missed yesterday's news, Mullins, who is Mr. Basketball Indiana, hit the nearly half-court shot after throwing up nothing but bricks all game. Not to mention, he made his 4th shot of the night. His 4th shot of the night. And then they adjusted the clock to 0.4 seconds to advance to the Final Four, which this year begins on 4-4. But yeah, number 24 hit his big shot on 24 date numerology, and the date numerology pads yesterday were 24, 42, and 78. Right as that happened, they announced the death of the 42-year-old actor, and it was all foretold through the Invesco advertisement, and Invesco is a company that's existed since 1978. So all of that corresponded with the date numerology paths yesterday. Again, it was a 20-point turnaround, a 19-point comeback. The 19-year-old got it done 20 days before his birthday. But this is where it gets Indiana's Mr. Basketball, his title, equals 187, like Braylon Mullins. And again, this is where it gets just sick, how you can just see how perfect the ritual is. So he does that as they announce the death of the Blue Bloods actor. And the news broke at about 8:20 p.m. Eastern time. From the anniversary of the start of that show until they broke the news, 187 days, right? And then it's not just that, it's the fact that the last ad they played was the Invesco GOAT ad with UConn players, and there's an alternate ad which features him, the guy who hit the game winner, helping out an Asian guy like Alex Duong, the Blue Bloods actor who's dead, who couldn't hit a basket to save his life until number 24 came flying into the picture. And that's kind of like number 24 last night. He couldn't hit a basket to save his life until, the half-court heave, which they're calling the Hail Mary, which we'll also get to. But yeah, it's just, I played this ad last night, and I suppose I'll play it again with no sound this time. Again, guy looks a lot like Alex. He's driving around, shooting like Braylon Mullins last night. This looks just like a Braylon Mullins highlight reel last night until the half-court heave, Hail Mary. This looked like Braylon Mullins where it would have been without the tech. But here comes the big tech triple Q Invesco product. Boom. So again, they showed the other variation of this ad right before the inbound and turnover and game winner. This is the variation they showed. The 16-second version of the ad with his teammates. And again, it's a 16-second clip, and GOAT equals 16 and 43, and Huskies equals 43, and Duke got their 43rd loss in the tournament, and 43 is the 14th prime. Again, just to remind you guys, they were down 44-29 at the half. Huskies 29. They ended up rallying and winning, giving Duke their 43rd loss in the tournament. 43 is the 14th prime number. Duke was on a 14-game winning streak. Duke equals 14 like end. That's how it ended. But yeah, also, this is the 87th tournament. Alex Duong died the day prior. They saved the news for the ultimate Blue Bloods collapse or epic comeback, however you want to look at it. But yeah, he died on the 87th day of the year during the 87th tournament. The Invesco ad told the story. Invesco 87 with the alphabetic order, 33 with numerology applied. Again, UConn picks up their 33rd win. They stay on 33 total losses in the tournament. The Invesco ad is for Triple Q, which is their big tech index fund. Again, big tech, like they're using big tech to ensure these outcomes in basketball games. It's been obvious they're using technology for years to ensure outcomes, to make sure a scripted shot like Mullins from nearly half court goes in when it needs to. And think about it. This is how, they sell tickets and keep people, spending big money on these events, because the majority of the dopes, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. Again, you're talking about the best basketball players in the country, and they don't know how to execute a simple scenario. 10 seconds, don't even have to cross half court. All they need to do is dribble out the clock or draw the foul and go drain some free throws and put the game away. They don't know how to do that. You got two guys wide open at the end of the court. Anybody could have heaved it down there to them and said we're throwing a line drive pass right into the defenders in front of us. None of this makes any sense. And I get tired of people saying, man, he probably got nervous or nerves. Please, these guys are playing primetime basketball all season long. Not to mention they were born and bred for this. We're talking about a Boozer twin who grew up with a professional, basketball playing father who also went to Duke. Please. No, these are scripts. Every year this stuff is going on, and the ads are for telling it year after year. We're talking about the same stuff every year. And by the way, if you watched last night's stream, I made a mistake because remember the year that it was the Coca-Cola Hashim Tabit ad. That was UConn's 120th season. And if you count up the games in that 2023 tournament, they outscored all their opponents by 120 points. Last night I was looking at the wrong tournament. Somehow it came up the wrong one, even though I searched the right thing. By the way, this year, it's their 123rd season. I might have said tournament. It was UConn's 120th season this year. This year, it's their 123rd. Indianapolis 123. Again, Mr. Indiana shoots them in from half court to send them to Indianapolis for the Final Four. And one more time, when Duke was up 44-25, that's when they announced the death of the Hall of Fame referee for college basketball who went to Duke. And then from there, Duke didn't score any more points at the end of the half, and Duke ended up having the 19-point collapse. They were up 44-25 when they announced the death of the ref. At halftime, they were up 44-29, and from there, the lead slowly got chipped away until the buzzer beater. But yeah, UConn makes it in their 123rd season, and yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So anyway, remember the word in the thing, rethink equals 85, like basketball, like the first March Madness in 85, like Mr. Indiana went to Greenfield High School on the 85th Meridian. CNN, this was their headline for the story. Sometimes you need a Hail Mary. His fourth shot made with 0.4 seconds left, and they had to readjust that. That's why you always see how they're tinkering with the clock. When it went through, if you were watching the game, it was 0.3 left, and then after the commercial break, they come back and they adjust it to 0.4 en route to the final 4-on-4-4. But look at the gematria of Hail Mary in the base ciphers. 87 for the 87th season. It happened on 42 date numerology. 129 is 201 in base 8 counting. And by the way, that was Duke. That was Duke's 129th tournament game there. Or hold on, let me pull that up one more time. Make sure I got that right. Duke in the tournament. Duke stayed on 129 wins in the tournament. That's what it was. And they got the 43rd loss, like Huskies 43. Like 43, the 14th prime. Yeah, instead of going to their 19th Final Four, the 19-year-old took away their 19-point lead. Yeah, and Hail Mary's also 48, like Final Four equals 48. And instead of Duke going to the Final Four in their 48th tournament, Invesco, after 48 years of existence and ads nonstop through the tournament, the team they chose for their advertising campaigns going there. So amazing how they do it. But yeah, they said it was a 35-footer. And again, at the same time he's dead, the Blue Bloods actor is announced dead. And then also from the anniversary of Blue Bloods ending until the death announcement was 107 days, Blue Bloods also equals 107. For the record, Ritual Sacrifice is 107 too. But you see how his birthday was March 20th and he died 8 days later, announced in the last game of the Elite Eight. He died the day prior, which was the first day of the Elite Eight games. He died on the 87th day of the year in the 87th season. But yeah, I just want to remind you that these two things happened on his birthday. You had the death of Robert Mueller by the numbers. He died 187 days after the Pope's birthday on the 79th day of the year. Robert Mueller and Society of Jesus, that's the Jesuits who run the whole show, including March Madness, 187 and 79. And you had the death of the Buffy actor, the Vampire Slayer, on that same day, 187 days after the Pope's birthday on the 79th day of the year. And also, Buffy, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she had the new movie come out that day, Ready or Not. And there was a lot to this. But again, Ready or Not, 54 forwards and backwards. They say this guy died at 54 in his sleep on the day that Buffy's new movie's out. And Ready or Not's about the elite of the world playing a game of ritual murder. And by the way, just with regards to news and sports and all this stuff constantly coming together, they had to say in the last paragraph that he's a huge Dodgers fan. And if the NL wins the World Series this year, they're going to pick up the 54th World Series win for the NL. We talked about a lot of 54-related deaths around Jackie Robinson's birthday on January 31st. Don't forget, last year the Dodgers picked up the 53rd win for the NL in the World Series, and it began on the 53rd death anniversary of Jackie Robinson, who died at 53. Los Angeles equals 53, where the Dodgers have moved to. My sweet Nikki, thank you for years of laughter, love, and Dodgers. It's just sick, you guys. It's just sick how this stuff goes on year after year, day after day. But yeah, that was poor Alex Duong's birthday. Fateful, deadly day. New Ready or Not's out, and then boom, he's the ritual during Blue Bloods. And by the way, just taking an Asian comedian before the Final Four that begins on 4-4. Asian 44, comedian 44. So, again, the 4-base ciphers, alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with numerology. And by the way, just Hail Mary, how CNN used that for their headline. Again, the first March Madness won by the Catholic school over the Jesuit school. Catholic equals 71 and 46 like March Madness. 35-footer, 145 points in the game, right? See that? Catholic 71 and 46, just like March Madness. 73-72 score, so 145 points. If you don't know, there's 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament, and compared to Protestant Bibles, there's 145 more chapters in the Old Testament. And that's why Israel, which is really a Catholic-controlled nation, was created on the 14th day of the 5th month. A lot of people think Israel's some sovereign nation that's just in charge and controlling the U.S. Not even close. Not even remotely correct. Again, it's the same people who gave you the calendar that run all this stuff. Your March Madness tournament, your nation, a bunch of nations. They are the New World Order. The thing that wanted to take over the world, the church. So, yeah. All right, and then just about news and sports, the breaking news tonight, FBI confirms Hezbollah attacked Temple Israel. Don't forget, that was on the 71st day of the year. Temple equals 71. Seems to be factoring in here with March Madness as well, right after Michigan advances. But yeah, the Hezbollah confirmation comes on the 89th day of the year, which tells you it's a total steam and load. And don't forget the CIA, which stands above the FBI. They have that Kryptos statue outside their front doors, which pays tribute to this knowledge of coding numbers into words. So if you think the government's not doing this, maybe look into the Kryptos statue that all but confirms they are, not to mention my 13 years of work proving this every single day. But let me just go over some of this Temple Israel stuff. You might recall the Old Dominion shooting happened the same day. And it was a date with 61 numerology. I wrote a book about this. You can see this big old book right here. This is my first book. There's a chapter in here over 100 pages long about 4 decades worth of mass shootings. And 61, huge theme, because active shooter equals 61. When the 61 date numerology comes around, you see the active shooters. The 2 mass shootings that day were in West Bloomfield. That's the Temple Israel, the suburb of Detroit, and at Old Dominion. And you can see how West Bloomfield is just like active shooter forwards and backwards. But yeah, Temple Israel, just like Jesuit order. On the 71st day of the year, they say a Jewish synagogue got shot up. Jewish synagogue 71. And they use that phrasing. I thought that was redundant phrasing because I'm like, well, aren't all synagogues Jewish? A Jewish synagogue. Okay. Looks like they're just going for the coding. But yeah, 71, big with the church. The Jesuits, a.k.a. the Society of Jesus. The Jesuit main code is 201, 201 days after the governor's birthday did this happen. State of Israel, 201. It happened 63 days before Israel's birthday. And, before any of this happened, I was talking about why you got to look out for June 3rd, the 10th anniversary of Muhammad Ali's death, when they say the Prophet Muhammad died on 6/3. And Detroit and West Bloomfield on the 83rd meridian. The shooting happened 83 days before June 3rd. If you don't know, Detroit, Michigan equals 83. Also on the 42nd parallel, like Iran war. And for the record, we started the war with Iran 42 days after the anniversary of Eisenhower's military-industrial complex speech. The man they blamed it on, Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, 83. They said he was a 41-year-old, and the FBI did a shooting simulation at the same temple 41 days earlier. So here, just to show you a few more. I thought I put that in here. Okay, yeah. The active shooter drill at the same temple was January 30th, 41 days before the March 12th shooting. And remember, this shooting's just outside of Dearborn. Dearborn has become the Muslim capital of the United States. Again, the Western media has done a good job of scaring people that Islamic people are dangerous, they're terrorists, which is just totally not true. Probably some of the nicest people on earth. But Dearborn 41, like Pistons, the basketball team there, and check this out with what they did with the Pistons. On the day of the simulation, the Pistons beat the Warriors with 131 points. And remember, the Pistons, or not the Pistons, but the Warriors are originally from Philadelphia. Philadelphia Warriors won the first pro basketball championship. And if you don't know, this season, this NBA season began October 21st, Netanyahu's birthday, and it was his 76th birthday, and it was a date with 76 numerology. And Netanyahu graduated. If you guys don't know, Netanyahu grew up in Philadelphia. He went to high school in Philadelphia. It's all part of the joke. It's why he's the chosen puppet. Again, Philadelphia is related to the synagogue of Satan, the false ooze in the Bible. A lot of people don't even know that. And his real name's not Benjamin Netanyahu either. That's his changed name. It's his character name that fits all the perfect numbers. I mean, just look how perfect it is, you guys. Netanyahu is made up name. 134, like Israel's birthday is the 134th day of the year. Again, the countdown is to Tisha B'Av, the destruction of Al-Aqsa Mosque to bring about the third temple. And Tisha B'Av means 9th of Av, which is also 134. Anyway, yeah, just the Pistons happened to beat the 76ers, the current Philadelphia team, with 131 the day of the shooting. And on the day of the simulation, they beat Philly with 131. And we know what 131 is. That's a number highly related to championships. And yeah, by the way, the NBA Finals begin on June 3rd as well. They didn't initially. They moved it from June 4th to June 3rd. But yeah, the shooter's name 83, like Detroit, Michigan, like anti-Semitism. My mom's busy. She's excited to make cookies with my daughter, but my daughter is sleeping. So as soon as I'm done, we'll wrap this up. Anyway, yeah, of course, Muslims also 83. 1983 NBA Finals were the same as the 1980 NBA Finals. There's Lakers and 76ers. This is the 80th NBA season. And yeah, from the start of the season to the simulation shooting, 101 days. From the start of the season to the supposed real shooting, 142 days. Terrorist just happens to equal 101 and 142. Philadelphia, 101. And yeah, this was this was 2 days after Bam's 83-point game. If you missed our work on that, definitely check that out. A lot to that as well. But yeah, then they also, I thought they'd already confirmed that the shooter was Hezbollah related. I guess today's the double confirmation, like the double tap on the girls' school by the numbers. A reminder that we do live in the most evil nation on earth, and only the blind can't see that. Again, we're the real terrorist nation, and the original definition of terrorism is government by intimidation. I mean, we're terrorized here in the U.S. by our own government. That's why everyone gets on their knees and sends in all their tax dollars. And all right, Mr. Government, I won't touch that plant. Yeah, yeah. It's just anyway. Mind control's real. People can't see the forest for the trees. Yeah, so they said, oh, that's what they said. They said the Temple Israel shooter's brother was a Hezbollah commander, but now they're saying, oh, he was actually Hezbollah too. But it's all by the numbers. And here we were just pointing out the numbers. Hezbollah's got the 44 connection, like shooting, like Michigan, like Detroit, like Israel, Temple Israel, like Zion, like Netanyahu. And Hezbollah's 44 years old right now. Again, this announcement comes right before Michigan plays in the Final Four on 4-4. And oh yeah, the brother who got the revenge, even his name is 83. They announced his death on the Ides of March, which was the kill date for the month, date with 44 numerology. It was a little eye for an eye Old Testament joke synced with the Superior General's birthday, who was born the same year as Israel, 124 days after the Superior General's birthday. Eye for an eye, 124, like beware the Ides. This happened on the Ides of March, like the man's name. 74th day of the year. Eye for an eye is first brought up in Exodus. And don't forget how Kobe, when he got killed during the 74th NBA season, they paid tribute to Exodus too. Moses Malone died right before Kobe's final season. And so did Daryl Dawkins. Both guys drafted out of high school. Moses Malone drafted by Utah, the first high school player drafted. Kobe finishes his career versus Utah. Kobe played his last game 213 days after Moses Malone died in the 213 LA area code. But anyway, Moses Malone, Nike did the advertising campaign with him as Moses from Exodus with the staff that gets turned into a snake. Kobe, the black mamba, the snake. Kobe was 4 when Moses Malone said fo, fo, fo when they won the finals. 4 equals 60. Moses Malone died at 60. Kobe Bryant finished his career scoring 60 points versus Utah. That's what that was about. Kobe scoring 60. It was a tribute to Moses Malone. And then we know what nasty word equals 60 as well. Starts with an N, ends with an ER. Yeah. So. They saved this news for the Ides of March, but they said he was killed on 3-5 in the Badar unit, which equals 35 or just equals 35. Yeah. So anyway, all this stuff, news and sports, all day, every day. And if everybody would just take the time to learn this little simple elementary code and actually look, they'd see this is exactly what's going on every single day. But what the lemmings do is instead they go, well, I think if this was important, more people would be talking about it. And man, that channel only has 1,000 viewers. Yeah, that is what it sucks that every video now gets about 1,000 views. It's amazing how they all end up on the 1,000 view mark. But yeah, they know that's just how you control the minds of the lemmings. Lemmings, that's exactly, I think. I'm going to turn into Candace Owens and learn about masonry in 33 today. So anyway. Yeah, exactly. You show up something simple. It's like, don't you think it's weird that your government confirms the Hezbollah Temple Israel shooting on the 89th day of the year? Granted, when I talk to people about this in real life, I don't have really anybody trying to argue with me. Most people find it fascinating, but I know online, people act like the little trolls that they are. Yeah, you get a lot. That's schizo. What's schizo about it? It's old world practice, the practice of carrying numbers into words. Those people that you probably worship, you probably eat their foreskin jerky if they told you to. They do this. Calling them schizo? Those are the chosen people. Foreskin jerky tastes good. So, anyway, yeah, I think we'll leave it there for now. My daughter is going to wake up soon. Grandma's excited to make some cookies. You guys seem to like the sound effects in the video yesterday. Guess I'll have to break those out more often. Yeah, and again, I don't know what all the always go. I don't get it. Why are they doing this? Like the question's answered in every video. Kabbalah. They're into Kabbalah. Kabbalah. This is the belief system of how God operates. This is how they think the world operates. They're playing God over your life. They're controlling your mind every day with their propaganda. And they're obviously succeeding. I mean, you saw the dummies in 2020 and in a couple of years after outside with their slave muzzles on, scared of the flu. And again, that's what it was. I mean, anybody can look up what it was coined as in 1968. It was coined as seasonal flu. Lester Holt told you every night flu cases were way down and cooties cases were way up. Never before, though, did they lock down your government and tell you to wear a muzzle and this is mandatory and that. And again, it's just how they move society and take advantage of them more and more. And it was intentional to create the excuse to print all the money to create the inflation. It all goes with the plan of by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. Just like the same guy who put on the cootie simulation came out and said, he did the simulation October 18, 2019. And then it was either June 3rd or June 30th that he said, you'll own nothing and be happy. I know it was one of those 2 days, June 3rd or June 30th. You'll own nothing and be happy, Klaus Schwab. It's all really simple to understand. And for all you guys who can't wrap your mind around it, you're too simple-minded. Mind control and the method to their mind control are these Kabbalistic practices. I don't know what's so hard to get about it. It's elementary. It's elementary. And like I'd also say, I mean, I didn't have to learn any of this to see what was going on. I mean, I was a teenager and I could see how bullshit television was. All this fear while the TV's on. Go outside. It's like, I feel like it's another beautiful day. Let's go shoot some hoops. Come in, your friend's parents are watching the news. New outbreak of this. Oh my God, you might want to. It's just like, why don't you just turn that shit off and go outside? Jesus. People just can't figure it out. And, you know, some of you guys want to make excuses for people, but let's be honest. It's because these people are stupid. That's the real problem. These people are dumb. What do you mean the game's rigged? Couldn't be any more obvious it's rigged. Every day it couldn't be any more obvious it's rigged. That's what I get tired of. Just human beings just making excuses for all this bullshit every day. Why are you making excuses for the bullshit that's making your life worse? Why not see what it actually is and become part of the solution to stop it? Zach, what are you doing to stop it? Imagine if everybody was behaving like me. None of this would have worked. 9/11 wouldn't have worked. Cooties 19 definitely wouldn't have worked. I was showing you guys day in and day out how to actually behave during Cooties 19. Ignore the lockdown protocols. Walk in the store like you're the boss with no mask on and give them the middle finger. What are you, a doctor, moron? Hey, when I signed up for Costco, where did it say in the contract that I had to wear a slave muzzle like a fucking loser? Had everybody acted like that, none of this shit would have ever worked. So when you losers come around here and say, what am I doing? Putting out the best information that was ever put out on the internet, showing people how to be real leaders, showing people how to be smart with their money, how to eat better, how to not be a fucking loser. That's what I'm doing. What are you doing? Being a fucking loser? Yeah, stop checking that box, okay? And all you morons who just wait, oh, yay, Zach got a pick wrong. Talk about fucking losers. Hey, what's the greater message of my work? Isn't it about how the game is rigged and they're killing people for these games? Can you think? I mean, there are really a million examples, but man, is this not one of the most blatant ones of all time? Blue bloods. That's terminology for these college basketball teams, which are again, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky. UConn has become in. I don't think UConn was decades ago, but in the last 3 decades, they're one of the blue bloods because they're one of the most winningest teams and they do wear blue. And remember, the only blue blood team that's a blue blood team that doesn't wear blue is Indiana. And again, that's because your blood's blue, but when you bleed, it's red. So that's the joke with Indiana, where this year's Final Four is where Mullins, Mr. Basketball, Indiana's from. But yeah, I mean, it's all right there. Everything I've taught is just all on display. The ritual murder, the timing of the news, the obvious technology used to nail the half-court game winner. A highlight that I'll probably be watching until the day I die. I'll be 90 years old. They'll be playing the clip back of, and never forget this moment from. I'll be like, fuck you. It's amazing that people still haven't woken up. What a bunch of dummies. Yeah. Anyway. How perfect it all is. The advertisement that foretold the moment just moments before it happened. The Infesco triple Q ad. And just the fact that they have this guy playing with an Asian guy who can't shoot to save his life as they announce the death of an Asian actor from Blue Bloods. I mean, it really is sick. It really is sick. So, yeah, we'll leave it there for now, True Sicker. And until next time.